23:29. Woe to you, self-righteous scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For you build tombs for the prophets and decorate and adorn the monuments of the righteous. And you say, if we had been living in the days of our fathers, we would not have joined them in shedding the blood of the prophets. So you testify against yourselves that you are the descendants of those who murdered the prophets. Fill up then the allotted measure of the guilt of your father's sin.
All right, can I read mine?
Yeah.
All right. Watch this. This is from the Heathen Bible, known affectionately as the New Century Version. Matthew 23:29. How terrible for you, teachers of the law and Pharisees! You are hypocrites. You build tombs for the prophets, and you show honor to the graves of those who live good lives. You say, if we had lived during the time of our ancestors, we would not have helped them kill the prophets. But you give proof that you are children of those who murdered the prophets, and you will complete the sin that your ancestors started. Now, are you aware that the ancestors of the religious leaders killed the prophets, and there was a penalty exacted against them for doing that? You know what that penalty was? Destruction of Jerusalem and its temple, and their banishment to Babel.
It was.
Yeah. And this verse down here, verse 32, they're going to complete the sin that their ancestors started. You know what's going to happen? They're going to have Jerusalem destroyed and the temple destroyed. And notice, after Babylonian captivity, they rebuilt the temple. It was called Zerubbabel's temple. Yes?
Yes.
All right. And then during the time of Christ, they enlarged it. So Zerubbabel's temple is often called Zerubbabel Herod's temple, because Zerubbabel's temple was enlarged.
Same building.
The same building. They expanded the building with, And so therefore, renovations and this sort of thing. And so therefore you have in other scriptures and so forth, like John, the guy says, 46 years has this temple been built, and shall you destroy it in 3 days? See, that's what Jesus was saying. Destroy this temple, I'm going to raise it up in 3 days. More on that later. All right. Now, then he says down here, verse 33.
You serpents, you spawn of vipers, how can you escape the penalty of hell? Keep going.
Yeah.
Therefore take notice. I am sending you prophets and wise men, interpreters, teachers, and scribes, men educated in the Mosaic law and the writings of the prophets. Some of them you will kill and even crucify, and some you will flog in your synagogues and pursue and persecute from city to city.
Stop right there. What verse is that?
That is verse 33 through 34.
All right. Verse 34. I'm going to read from my version.
Mm-hmm.
Ready? Matthew 23:34. So I tell you this, I am sending to you, to who?
These people.
The religious leaders. All right, I'm sending to you prophets and wise men and teachers. Some of them you will kill and crucify. Did they do that?
Yes, they did.
Yeah. And notice who they were sending them to. They were sending them to the religious leaders, and of course the religious leaders still did not repent. They killed them. They crucified them. And this other part of this verse says, some of them you will beat in your synagogues.
Mm-hmm.
Beating them.
Mm-hmm.
and chase them from town to town.
Now stop. We know of one person who did that, don't we?
Mm-hmm. What was his name?
His name was Paul.
His name was Paul. Yeah, you go. Now you're getting it. Now you're getting it. So
Paul was a disciple of Gamaliel, and Gamaliel and them boys was there beating Stephen. Was it Stephen or Philip? Stephen.
You can read Book of Acts about what they did to Stephen after Stephen came up and said, "You did this. You killed you."
And Paul was holding the coats.
And Paul was holding the coat. And then after Paul converted to Christ, religious leaders, they went to persecuted Paul. They chased Paul, Ionian and Lystra and Derbe, chased Paul around, persecuting them because he would dare say that Jesus is Lord.
He is the Messiah.